Welcome to Kiss the Reviews. I'm Armando. That's Corey. And today we're doing 1996's Set It Off. Before we get started, if you want to reach out to me or Corey on Twitter, you could reach out to me at Junior D's. You could reach out to Corey at Idle Poncho. Before we get into this movie, let's hit on the cast of this movie, Set It Off, 1996. This stars Jada Pinkett Smith as Stoney, Queen Latifah as Cleo, Vivica A. Fox as Frankie, Kimberly Elise as Tashawn, John C. McGinley as Detective Strode, and Blair Underwood, the man, the myth, as Keith.
Oh yeah, that was a Blair Underwood as the guy in the pretty decent fuck scene.
Yeah, dude,
wasn't bad, man.
But
that was solid.
This is Blair Underwood and his fucking smooth ass, like at his prime of smoothness. I loved him in this movie.
Oh, he's great.
And it was kind of like a softcore porn there for about a minute, but you know, whatever. Got to try the next.
It was 1 minute and 22 seconds. Don't ask me how I know that.
I'm scared to ask. So I think we'll get into the movie. This movie opens up with a robbery at the bank where Frankie works. A shootout happens. Lorenz uses an Uzi, hits nothing during this whole shootout because obviously, once again, he hasn't listened to this show, hasn't watched the show. Uzis suck. Just
quit using them, kids.
I mean, how many times do we got to say it?
How many errant bullets got to kill a goddamn baby before you guys listen to us? Stop using the fucking Uzis.
Exactly. Frankie then gets fired for not following the bank procedure and knowing one of the robbers. Can I just say this? Can I start with this? Here's my first, don't do that. It's super fucked up to fire somebody.
Yes.
It's just that whole, doesn't matter the situation. It's just kind of fucked up to fire somebody.
Yes.
Even if it's justified. But it's really fucked up to fire somebody when they got somebody else's blood on their face and their clothes. Don't do that. What are you doing?
And we're not... How about this? Let's rewind 1 second before the firing to where John C. McGinley says, "You're from the same projects, ergo, you must be working together. PSA," and I can't fucking believe I gotta say this, but PSA. Hey, white people, Uncle Corey here. Just because two people are black doesn't mean A, they necessarily know each other, B, are friends, or C, are in fucking cahoots in a bank robbery. Are you out of your fucking mind, you racist sack of shit?
Well, listen, since they're so into watching and rewatching the tape of this robbery, how about you go rewind it back to the part where she's begging him not to rob the bank because, hey, we know each other, we're from the same neighborhood, don't fucking do this, it's not a good idea. Why don't you rewind it back to that point and then go, oh, maybe she wasn't involved in this. Nope. God damn it, she's involved. Because their skin's the same color and they live 10 blocks away from each other, so they gotta fucking be in cahoots. That's like the assholes when you go somewhere and you're like, oh, I'm from New York. New York's a large state, and they're like, oh, do you know Fred? How about fuck you? No, right. I don't know your dumb friend Fred. Okay, you asshole. But I do like how Vivica A. Fox here loses her shit on the owner, the manager of the bank.
By the way, we'll throw this in as another PSA. Hi kids, Uncle Corey here. If you get fired from your job, react exactly as Vivica did here. Okay? Fuck them. Don't think like, oh, well, if I walk out nice and professional and I say, well, thank you for the opportunity and I'm sorry I disappointed you, and you're going to be somehow elevated
Don't burn
to
bridges.
some extra level. Yeah. Fuck that. Tell that motherfucker exactly why he screwed up and move on with your life.
Blow the bridge up as you walk out the door. Just
yes, sir.
FYI. In the next scene, Stevie, Stoney's brother, who's graduating from high school, tells Stoney he can't go to UCLA because he didn't get the scholarship he was hoping for. There's that whole scene. I didn't really get this whole, I mean, I understood the scene, but like the whole 70s high school
well, yeah, the setup
graduation
was really
party.
Weird. Like it's a 70s graduation / got into college party with Queen Latifah playing Busy Bone in this scene. And you're right though, it's a weird way to introduce everybody and to set up the initial plot, I guess, for it. Like, you know, these are these four ladies. This is how literally they are all about to get fucked over within the span of 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It was weird. I'm with you. It was really weird. Yeah. And then they all have to take off wigs and shit so you can actually see who the characters were and identify them in the next scene.
In the next scene, after talking about being sick of being broke, Cleo, played by Queen Latifah, tells the girls that Lorenz made off with $20K in that bank robbery earlier. They should start robbing banks. And the girls just kind of laugh it off. Like, that's just Cleo being Cleo. Whatever. Stoney then, after this, she then sleeps with Nate to get an advance on a paycheck for working at his car dealership that she doesn't work at yet. And it doesn't seem like she ever works there.
It's fucking gross and disgusting. And this was one of the few times I'm glad they put it in, for the simple fact that you had to see her hit rock bottom like that in order to get to a point where you got to rob a fucking bank. Like, you are fucking taking this nasty motherfucker's dirty dick just to send this kid to college for a fucking semester. Which that's not great.
Which pisses me off because Stoney then gives Stevie the advance she got from sleeping with Nate. He tells her that he didn't even get into UCLA, and so he's not going to take the money. And she flips the fuck out, smacks the shit out of him.
Rightfully so. I was so glad she went off on him. I wanted her to go a step further and be like, no, you don't understand. Like, come here, I'm going to show you exactly. I would have drove down to that motherfucker's house, knocked on the door and say, see him? See him? He put his dick inside of me so I could give you this money. Yes. That motherfucker right there.
After this, Stevie then bounces, goes to Lorenz's place. As he leaves Lorenz's place after getting a fresh new cut, he gets shot by the cops when they mistake his champagne bottle for a gun. And then they have a shootout with Lorenz in his apartment. Here's a couple of don't do that. Don't just randomly shoot black people. I mean, I know I probably shouldn't have to say it, but I'm still going to. Because some people haven't learned their lesson. But if you're staking out Lorenz's place, let's put it in the context of this movie, okay? If you're staking out Lorenz's place, and you know a dude just went in to his apartment, right? And then a dude in the exact same clothing comes out of his apartment. It's probably not Lorenz. It's probably not the dude that you're staking out. He's wearing the exact same clothes. And the only reason they shoot him is because he's got the same haircut in the back. You think he's the only motherfucker that's got that haircut? He's got the same haircut, guys!
Well, this movie could have been parenthetically titled John C. McGinley Jumps to Fucking Conclusions. Because he meets Vivica A. Fox and just immediately, she's in on it. Jumps to the next case. That's our perp. Get him. Then he feigns his bullshit. Somebody call an ambulance. Why? This isn't 50 Cent. You shot him 75 fucking times. He's dead.
With goddamn assault rifles.
Yes. He's dead. The only person that survives that kind of assault is 50 Cent. Period.
And then, to add insult to injury or death, then they just leave his body out there with no sheet, no police tape, no nothing. just for anybody to stumble on, which Stoney then comes out.
No, they were literally putting the tape up, stopped, and lifted their arms so the victim's family member could run through and see it. It's like, hey, guess what? Not only did we kill the black guy, now we get to torture his fucking sister too. High fives around, white people. We did it.
The group then starts to seriously talk about robbing a bank here. They go to the bank, case it out, which is weird because they go to like the downtown Federal Bank, case it out. And of course, Jada gets a date out of it because Blair Underwood and his smooth ass as Keith enter him. And he's like, yeah, I'll give you my number. You can call me and we can go out on a date. You know what? Listen, with the way he was talking to Jada, I would have given him my number in that scenario. Just FYI.
Yes. Put it anywhere you want to, Blair. You win. You're going to feed me too? That's a fucking bonus. I just need the sweet talk.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. And then he takes her to his house a little bit later and he's just like, I know it's not much. It's a pretty nice fucking place, Blair. Where are we doing this? On the fucking on the bearskin rug? Is that where we're doing this? You gonna run the necklace down my ass crack? Is that how this is happening?
Yo, that scene was hot as fuck. I don't know where the fuck he even got a necklace from. That scene was hot as shit.
All I know is he was wearing the necklace that was in Jada's ass, like the next scene when she was leaving the house, and he was like, yeah, you know where this was.
I would be too. I wear Jada's ass necklace. You kidding me?
One night at their job as janitors, Tashawn brings her young son in because she can't afford a babysitter. He gets into the cleaning shit as they're working. He gets taken to the hospital. And Child Protective Services then takes her boy until she can prove that she has money. So now everybody has hit rock bottom.
Yeah, she was the last domino to fall there.
And Cleo was already there like, I'm down whenever anybody's ready.
Oh, Cleo's just thugging the whole way. She's crip walking the whole fucking way to the bank anyway. It doesn't matter who's with her.
Yeah, and then the other three finally hit rock bottom. And Cleo's like, fucking finally, can we go rob these motherfuckers? What? So they then get their plan together for the robbery.
They're not professional bank robbers.
Yeah.
Of course they're going to be fumbling around. But I mean, people are walking out of the bank that they're walking into trying to put on wigs and shit and plastic rubber gloves. It's like, goddamn, can we have some discretion at least with where we get our disguises on? Well,
then, so they get their plan together for that robbery, right? They get some shooting practice at Dr. Dre's place.
That was awesome.
And he floats them some guns for the robbery. So now they have some professional guns for their quote-unquote professional robbery, and then they rob the bank with wigs and sunglasses and get away with it. Well, everyone except Tashawn, because she bounces like right before they walk into the bank. She's like, I can't do it, and she's like, I gotta get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, we're actually going to throw a PSA in there real quick about Tashawn. Hey, kids, Uncle Corey here. If you're about to do some criminal thug shit with your friends, and you decide at the last moment to bounce, motherfucker, this ain't Disney World. Don't expect a cut later. This is where this is just like, oh, this is a pretend story. Yes. Because no fucking way. I'm with Vivica A. Fox. If you gave a fuck about your kid that much, you'd have been in that fucking bank with a gun, wouldn't you? But you weren't. You ran and then took a fucking bus home, chump.
Listen, I'll float you $1,000, but when we do this next bank robbery, I'm taking that shit back with interest.
Yeah, because I know here in a couple scenes, the Godfather and shit, we're going to have that discussion about Fig real quick.
After this, Stoney and Keith then go out to dinner. Their relationship starts to blossom a bit. Cleo then starts spending the $3,000 each that they got from the first robbery, and she stops going to work. You robbed a bank. Okay, you put your lives on the line. Okay, you're all these girls are at the end of their rope, right? We're gonna go rob this bank, motherfucker. You got $12,000. Like, you can get a job and make $12,000. Like, you got $12,000 in cash. Granted, no taxes are taken out. Uncle Sam doesn't get his dirty fingers on it, but you got $3,000 a piece after you cut Tashawn in, right? First of all, she tricks her whole car out for $3,000. I'm pretty sure she went
go ahead and say those parts are not fresh.
Well, they're not. We know they're not fresh because she can't start the car later in the movie when they're trying to make a getaway. But I think she went to like Aaron's, maybe like a rent-to-own looking place, because Lord knows just the rims alone were $3,000. Like, forget the new paint job and everything else she got.
Mm-hmm. Don't forget, you got to put fucking bougie ass Amber Rose in some lingerie to do a dance for you.
Yeah, you do. She spends all her money. They argue about robbing more banks. This is where Cleo pulls the gun out on her. And Stoney smacks the fuck out of her here.
I love this scene too.
And this is what pissed me off about this scene. Cleo pulls the gun out. Is like, go, what are you going to say now? What are you going to say now? And then Stoney done fucking blink through this whole fucking thing, puts the gun down and smacks the fuck out of her. And then Queen Latifah gets pissed and is like, dude, we've been friends since the first grade. Motherfucker, you put a gun in my face.
Stoney, we go back to first grade. You've been my peeps for 20 years.
And not only will I smack the fuck out, there's going to be some rolling around on the ground. There's going to be a fight that ensues after that whole, you just put a gun in my face.
Like, I'm picking up that bottle and I'm breaking it over your fucking head. Period. Exactly. Like, you just put a fucking loaded gun against my fucking cheek. Are you out of your fucking mind?
Exactly.
Then, some little fucking comic, we're at work, round table, Godfather bullshit is not going to put it back together either. Like, we got beat. You got drunk and put a motherfucking gun to my face. Now you want me to go rob a bank with you? Again?
I give Vivica A. Fox a lot of credit here, because in this whole Godfather themed sit down that they have at work, she went full bore.
She did a good job.
She put the cotton in her fucking mouth, the whole because again, I haven't seen this in a long time, and I'm watching it, I'm like, she got fucking cotton like in her jaw. I'm like, her jaws look puffy.
Yeah, dude.
And then at the end, she takes out the cotton. I was like, I'm down. I like this whole scene. Yeah, I respected it.
I remember just thinking, like, okay, this is cheesy as shit, but I really like it.
Yeah, it was cheesy, but I did enjoy it. In the next robbery, the cops randomly show up outside of the bank. They show up because of homeless people stuff. I'm sorry, homeless person stuff. There's only one dude. They call like 10 fucking cops. Like, this guy's unruly. And he's wearing a suit from the 1960s, and he's got to go. Yeah. So there's 10 cops there to fucking handle that.
You know why? You know what it was? And I didn't realize this until just now, and the whole theme of kind of what this movie and this show has been about is the cops that picked up the bum had to stay on patrol. They were still in that area. But because the bum was white, they were calling in another unit to escort that guy to a very nice hotel somewhere in downtown LA.
So you can get washed up.
Life back on track.
Yeah. You can get washed up. I like it.
Yeah, let's help you out, buddy.
Things start going sideways in the bank because they notice all the cops out front. And then Cleo ditches the car that's already stolen, goes and jacks another truck, crashes through the front of the building, and they all get away somehow.
And the chapter, if this were a book, the chapter of this one is when having crazy friends goes right. Because thank God the crazy ass motherfucker was the getaway driver in this situation, because she thought outside of the bun, jumped in the car, got in there, and just pretty much tore the entire bank down.
And this time they make away with $75,000 each. And they hide the money at work and go about with life as usual in case the cops come snooping around their homes for the money and yada yada. So they're starting to get a little smarter here, you know, and doing all the right things. And I respected a lot of the moves that they made here.
Yes.
Stoney and Keith, then this is where they get hot and heavy in massage oils after some black tie event. Because nothing gets me hornier than talking to old white men about their money. Then they find out that Luther, their boss from the janitor service, stole their money. They track him down, and during this scene, he pulls a gun on Cleo. Deshaun kills him, And then Cleo gets picked up by John C. McGinley in like the next scene, and they get put up in a lineup. The witness doesn't drop dime because Cleo stole her driver's license in the scene before and was like, again, I respect the move.
Alyssa Lyons, 483 Moore Park. You didn't see none of this shit, right? Right?
Right.
See, it's not necessary for me to kill you. I just have to threaten to kill you. That's how you leave no witnesses at a crime scene.
Yes, exactly.
So smart. I loved her for doing this. And it separates her from actually just being crazy and off the fucking chain. Like, she's actually really intelligent at what she has to do here in that life. I have to say, I love the scene where he's fucking the girl, Luther, and Queen Latifah comes in and he's mid-pump and just jacks him in the fucking face.
Climb out the pussy for me, Luther.
Her walking in, her hitting him, delivering that line, the whole thing is fucking beautiful. So they finally decide to rob one more bank. And it happens to be the bank that Stoney's dude, Keith, works at. The next scene is the cops meeting at Downtown Federal to discuss the robberies that have been happening. They show the tapes. Keith obviously knows that it's Stoney because they only wore wigs and sunglasses in the fucking first robbery.
And John C. McGinley is convinced, once again, that there's an inside man.
They may even have a contact on the inside, so please be aware.
Well, he never says this to his partner when they're watching tapes or anything like that. They get in the thing, and they're like, all right, we're doing this, we're doing that. And then he looks at Blair Underwood, and it kind of fucking clicks to him again, and he goes, and I bet they got an inside guy. A black guy.
Well, here's the other thing. At the beginning of this movie, he interrogates Vivica A. Fox about procedure and blah, blah, blah. This motherfucker worked at a bank. You have all the pictures of all four of these women. You're like, see, I told you that they were all friends. Can you get down with that? Or whatever the hell he says.
Do you feel me? I thought that you would.
You know that one of the chicks used to work at a bank. So she knows bank procedure. And then he was just like, and they have an inside man. And I see him sitting right there. Stoney actually calls Blair Underwood, tells him to meet her at like the place he took her before just to get him out of the bank. They show up to the bank, they rob the bank, and the cops get the call as they're leaving. They have to turn around to get back. They cut the girls off as they're leaving the bank. Now there's this standoff where John C. McGinley is talking to the three girls. I have 1,000 problems with this scene.
When John C. McGinley says basically there's been enough killing. Stevie's been enough. It's okay, Stoney. Stevie should be the last one. You're only saying that because you have a gun pointed at you now. You fucking killed him.
Yes.
You don't get to set the terms on now when it's enough death, everyone. I'm involved now. I'm directly threatened.
No! Not only does that drive me crazy, because that whole scene was infuriating. And then you get the security guard jumping into frame like John fucking Rambo coming to save the goddamn day, and he shoots to Sean, and then there's this big shootout. Where the fuck did this guy come from?
Dude, do you know what his name was? Leroy Jenkins!
Let's do this. Leroy Jenkins!
Oh my god, he just ran in.
It had to be him, because this son of a bitch, I don't know if he was outside the bank. There's a 5-minute conversation here between John C. McGinley and the three women. And then this motherfucker comes in, just,
Soldier boy, tough.
Like he was coming to save the day. They get the shit, like, and I was like, why is that even in the script?
And I got to throw a PSA in here real fast again. Hi, kids. Uncle Corey. If you're ever in a situation where you have your mask on for a criminal activity and the cops start calling you by your real name, that doesn't mean you can take your fucking mask off. They don't have confirmation. They think it's you.
Yes.
They don't know it's you. You know how they'll know it's you? When they recognize your fucking face. Keep your goddamn mask on.
After this, they get the stolen truck. They take that back to Cleo's car to swap out.
You know why they get fucked here again? Because Cleo's sporting that fucking Uzi, and she can't hit a goddamn thing with that.
No, she can't.
Don't use an Uzi. I'm so sick of seeing Uzis in fucking TV shows and movies.
I know. They take the stolen truck back to Cleo's car to swap out. Deshaun dies in the back seat, and they finally pull away after Cleo's 10 attempts to try to start her car that she paid $3,000 for all this fucking work on and can't get it to start.
Yeah, and this is the only scene that I really didn't like in the movie. The forced rebel without a cause. Like the whole, like, oh, we'll go get the flambe or whatever the fuck they had.
Remember those banana flambés we had that time at that restaurant?
I get what they were going for. Again, I get it. Because you get a very small glimpse of Sean's face and she's obviously dead. It just felt forced. It felt weird. Like, because they're, she's trying to have a normal conversation with her, and it's like, tell them to hurry to get me to the hospital. We will. And then it's like, remember those flambés? We're going to go get them again.
Yeah.
Like, no, I don't remember that because I'm fucking bleeding out in the car. It's like
the car chase starts after this. They're followed by the cops, helicopters, etc. It basically turns into Grand Theft Auto. They get trapped in the tunnel, and Cleo tells Stoney and Frankie to get out and split up. And they basically know that Cleo's gonna die because she's crazy and she's gonna drive into this.
Which again, good time to have a crazy friend.
Yeah, exactly.
I like that the crazy friend didn't completely bury them.
And
so often happens in movies.
And didn't break character.
Exactly. She was ride or die for a friend. Those girls were the only people she gave a fuck about.
Yep, exactly.
And she was going to protect them before she protected herself.
She comes out of the tunnel, leads the cops away. Cleo finally gets cornered and then rams the cop cars as they open fire. She hops out, starts spraying the Uzi, and doesn't fucking touch anybody with it. And then they kill her here. This whole scene is fucking awesome.
I don't know if this was Queen's first role. I don't know if this was her first starring role. I don't know if this was her first death scene.
Yeah.
She did all of them really well.
Really well.
Do you feel me? I thought that you would.
So Stoney then hops some random tourist bus to Mexico, and Frankie gets tracked down by the cops. John C. McGinley here tries to talk Frankie down.
And I don't even know what the fuck that was. I have no guns on me. I'm coming. There's 78 cops behind you.
And every 3 seconds he turns around like, hey, you quit that shit.
This whole scene would have been fantastic if Frankie actually pulled the trigger.
Yes. That would have been...
That was amazing when she's like, what's the procedure?
Yeah, because she pulls the gun out here, puts it at his head, asks him, flashes back to the earlier in the movie where he's barking at her about what's the procedure in the bank. She's asking him, what's the procedure now, bitch? But then she runs and she gets shot and killed as Stoney watches from this tourist bus.
Well, I don't think we're going to be able to catch her. Shoot,
so,
I better fire and be the hero. I fucking hate, dude.
This whole scene, I would have much rather, the scene would have actually made more sense to me, and I would have loved the scene more. I mean, I kind of get what they were going for, but any scene with John C. McGinley kind of fell short, because they were trying to give John C. McGinley through this whole movie, all these, he's the redeemable, he has redeemable quality. They were trying. I think they were trying. But I think it fell short. It fell flat with me. If she shoots him and then takes off, I think that makes more sense here. But then, and this is why I say they're trying to give him redeemable qualities, because McGinley sees Stoney on the bus and lets her go. He's seen all of the killing, and there's too much killing, and it goes back to what he was saying earlier. And he just lets her go here. I think they were trying to give him some redeemable qualities to make him a little bit more of a likable character. But again, there's so much other fucked up stuff that happens before. Everything just kind of falls short. You know what I mean?
Okay, here's my theory, if you don't mind.
Okay.
I think they hit the nail right on the fucking head.
I think they did too.
Looks like who pretends to give a fuck.
Dude, I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you.
That's what a guy looks like who's saying all the stuff he's supposed to say. But when you see him in private, he's a little bit of a different person. He's really gung-ho. He can't get it out of his head that fucking Frankie was involved. He can't get it out of his head that Stoney was involved.
Yeah.
I mean, for Christ's sake, they're badgering the witness who saw Luther get murdered, trying to get her to just cop to something.
Yes!
Look at her!
And I think where they excelled here was they set it up a lot more like, in my opinion, Kevin Dillon in Crash. Because if you remember him in Crash, like, he feels up Thandie Newton and he's just a racist, repugnant fuck. Yeah. But then at the end, he does his fucking job and saves somebody's life. And then it's like, oh shit, that was the same girl I sexually assaulted. That doesn't make you better. You're not redeemed. You're still a piece of shit. You just had one moment of fucking clarity and acted like a human being. And I think that's what happened there. I think he kind of realized that they took everything from Stoney. Everything from that girl is gone. She has nothing. So she, what, 75 grand, couple bucks? Happy trails, Hans. What else can you really do to her? It doesn't matter. You've already killed her. She has nothing. Yeah. So I think he had that one moment of humanity where he's like, okay, we're done. But I don't think for a moment he believed a fucking word he was bullshitting anybody.
After this, the next scene is Stoney in Mexico. She's got the money. She's crying with the money. She remembers her friends, her brother. She cuts off her hair, packs the money up, and bounces. And then she does give Keith a call here at the bank one last time, and then heads down the coast and in a Jeep, and end of movie.
Is there a hairstyle Jada doesn't look good in?
I don't think so. She's had a bunch of different ones over the years, and she always pulls it off. So I mean, shit, dude, this 96, you're talking what, 25 years ago? This movie still holds up. There's still so much relevant shit. Whether you're talking about the Black community, whether you're talking about socioeconomics, it doesn't matter the topic you're talking about. It all translates still to this day, which is fucking sad. But what I really liked about this, and this is something that maybe I'll get killed for, but this was a fucking 1,000-time better version than Thelma and Louise. And they actually make mention of Thelma and Louise in this fucking movie.
Yes. All right, Louise, you take Thelma over there and y'all go rob another bank if you all that.
This was a way better version. If Thelma and Louise had more of this, there was reasons for them to rob banks. There was reasons, like they set up the characters so that they had to hit rock bottom before they made those decisions. And it was just a much, much better version. And if you want a, fucking women rule, fuck yeah, this is the movie.
Yeah, and it's not cliched or thrown in your face at all.
No,
to where
not
it's
at
like,
all.
okay, we get it. It's just a movie.
Yeah.
The conversations they're having, the situations they're put in. I mean, look, a guy's probably not going to be forced to have sex with his female boss in order to get some money before payday. You know what I mean? Even if it is, it's not frowned upon kind of the same way that it is in the reverse situation like it is in this movie.
Yeah.
So there are some things that inherently stick to women.
Yes.
But they also, regardless of your gender, pull out something emotionally from you.
Yeah.
I mean, every scene counts. There's not a lot of fluff to it.
No.
It's well paced. The dialogue is really good. It's not, nobody has a great monologue, a Furious Styles monologue in it, but it didn't need to be one.
No, there didn't need to be one. And what I liked was they didn't there was never a point in this movie where people were like, "Ah, they're just women." Like, you know what I mean? Like a lot of these movies will have that. This just didn't have it because it didn't need it. So
no, there wasn't even that scene with like John C. McGinley going, "What? Women? What? Women?"
There was one part, and it's towards the end when he's having the meeting at the bank, and he's like,
Please do not be misled by the fact that these 4 bandits are female.
There's only one mention in a 2-hour film that they're female.
Yes.
Like, I liked that because any other movie like it's almost they either shove it down your throat or it's mentioned every 3 seconds, but they're women. How can they do that?
Exactly.
Like that, I don't like that. This was just a fucking movie. It was 4 friends that fucking hit rock bottom that are like, let's rob some fucking banks.
Yep.
And it was
fresh out of Fox, let's make some money.
All in all, it was still cool, man. It's been a long time since I've seen this movie, and I still love it. I think everybody did a great job.
Yeah.
And again, I know we go back to John C. McGinley a lot, and like everything he's in, I love. He just does a great job in every fucking role he plays. And
I fucking hated him with passion. I mean, I still hate him at this moment, and I realize it's a fictional movie that I'm supposed to be making fun of. I'm like, I wish a motherfucker walk in this house right now, slap the shit out you. But no, man, it really is. It's a good movie. It's a great movie. It really is.
Yeah.
I would put this up there like in the same way Aliens treated a woman. Or you know what I mean? Some of these other movies where they don't just Thelma and Louise it to death, where it's like, woohoo, we're girls.
Yeah.
We fucking
same.
Billy.
Yeah, same.
Take it easy.
Same.
So yeah, I liked this 1,000 times more than Thelma and Louise. I thought it was just a much better paced movie that made more sense realistically. You could connect with the women and understand why everything was happening to them and why they wanted to go down that road. You would even say to yourself, if one of these 3-4 situations happened to me, fuck yeah, I'm going to go rob a bank.
Yep.
I know people that want to go rob a bank because they get drunk on Saturday night. Like, let's break into an ATM.
You know what? Let's stop talking about my fucking Saturday nights, shall we? Okay.
No!
I thought this was a really good movie with a bunch of fantastic actors. I thought the 4 female leads tore it the fuck up.
Yeah. No, and
I never. This is one of those movies again where I don't understand why Hollywood had a problem with putting out black movies more than one a year. Like, what about this movie scared you away? It was entertaining as fuck.
This movie was so good. This movie was so good. I really liked it. I liked it. I still like it, but that's all I got. You got anything else?
I got nothing else, man. Keep the requests coming, please. We are moving up in the world, moving up to the east side, some would say. So get your requests in now. Yes. And obviously, as we've said before, the more requests we have for any particular movie, the faster we're going to be doing that one. So get your people to get us on the horn, and everybody request the same shit if that's what you want to see.
Exactly. Don't forget to like, subscribe, all that happy stuff. Comment, let us know what you want to see. But for Corey, I'm Armando. This is Kiss the Reviews, and this was 1996's Set It Off.